All right, today we're going to talk about Sean Strickland, a man that is waiting on the sidelines for a title fight and a man that unfortunately was involved in another motorcycle accident. That is correct. Remember, 2018, Sean was in a very, very nasty motorcycle accident. It cost him 2 years away from combat sports. He thought he might never fight again. He had to undergo surgery. He was hit by a van going 45 miles an hour, came to on the side of the road, police, ambulances, all the rest of it, underwent surgery, took 2 years away from the sport, then came back and became middleweight champion of the world. Unbelievable story. And even more unbelievable that Sean is out there doing wheelies once again. You can see him here. He's hitting wheelies. He obviously went too far back because he showed some pictures. He said, finally, I hit the balance point, and then I didn't. He fell off. Pictures of his hands. I mean, it's a bit of a nasty scratch on the hand there, a bit of a cut. That will definitely suck in training for sure. And then his knee there, very, very swollen. He says training's going to suck today. He should take a few days off, but that's Sean Strickland. The man is always in the gym. So, fortunately, Sean's okay. He's got a couple of scratches, bit of a swollen knee. He'll be absolutely fine.
Just a flesh wound.
But it doesn't really matter because he's not rushing back to the octagon anytime soon. As you probably know by now, the man's waiting on the sidelines for a title fight. So we're going to discuss this and the potential ramifications. And by the way, the champ has chimed in. Oh yeah, Dricus Du Plessis has got something to say about this.
Which one of the two would you prefer to sort of rematch?
Well, that's a good one. I mean, just in terms of what the people want to see me and Strickland do the rematch. They make the most noise, the Strickland fans, I guess. But
that is absolutely true. They do want to see that rematch. Strickland has a lot of very passionate fans. And it sounds like Dricus is open to it.
You know, either one of them, at the end of the day, I'm here to fight the best guys. I'm here to fight the biggest fights, the fights that make the fans want to see. So, you know, in my opinion, if I was how I see this playing out, you cannot not do the Whittaker versus Strickland fight. I think that's the fight that needs to happen. Now, I know Strickland, when we were at the presser, said Whittaker is nothing but a blitz, and it's an easy fight, and now he doesn't want to take that fight. Let me tell you one thing, Robert Whittaker is no easy fight for anybody. Strickland, also an incredible fighter, and it's just a fight that makes so much sense. It's that's a fight on its own. You know, you can main event that fight on any card. And I honestly think that's how it's going to play out. I think that's going to be the fight. I think the UFC is going to make Whittaker and Strickland. And ultimately, that's going to determine who's the number one contender. With Khamzat out of the run for now, I would have obviously loved to see the fight with him and Whittaker. But, you know, with him being out of the run for now, I think Whittaker, Strickland for number one contender fights the next one.
So yeah, Dricus Du Plessis makes some very, very good points there. With Khamzat Chimaev being out of the equation, of course, the next two front runners is Sean Strickland versus Robert Whittaker. Whichever one of those was to win a fight between them two would establish themselves as next in line for the winner of Dricus versus Israel Adesanya. And waiting around on the sidelines typically doesn't pay off. Let's just imagine a scenario here where Dricus and Israel Adesanya, they go head-to-head in Perth. They put on an absolute classic. Okay, a war, a battle for the ages that people just are losing their minds about. One of the best fights that's ever taken place, and it's razor close. And maybe they give it to the wrong person, okay? Well, they might do a rematch. What if Robert Whittaker takes another fight in the meantime, like he did against Ikram Aliskerov, saves the day once again, gets another win, okay? Currying favor, being a dependable guy, being a type of person that you want as a champion. Well, if he was to do that, he's continuing to state his case. And what if Sean Strickland, in the meantime, continues to fall off motorcycles, okay? Shit goes wrong. You hurt yourself in training, you fall off a bike, you walk into a wall. Who knows what's going to happen, okay? Waiting on the sidelines generally doesn't always work out. I understand Sean's position. He feels that because he beat Israel Adesanya and he had a very close fight with Dricus Du Plessis, he feels he should get the shot next.
I had it 2-2. Going into the last round, and I thought Strickland won the last round.
But you can't sit around. You can't feel so entitled. You have to go out there, state your case, continue to ply your craft, get better with every single training camp, make the statement that you are the uncrowned champion, and make a shit ton of dough while you're doing it. You do not want to wait on the sidelines. I mean, for example, let's say Dricus beats Izzy. That's a big if, but let's just say he does. What if Dricus gets injured? What if that fight is so grueling, he tears a knee, he busts his eye up, he's got a broken jaw, he's coming back, but it's going to be 6 to 9 months. Is he still going to continue to wait on the sidelines? Now, of course, Sean Strickland, if you follow him on Twitter, right, X, then you'll know he is very, very vocal about this stuff. Let's have a look what Sean has had to say on the matter. All right, so here's Sean on Twitter. The thought that Whittaker gets a title shot before me is effing wild. Bro, you're 0-3 with a stoppage, lol. I beat both of these. See you next Tuesdays. Do rankings matter? Do the right thing, UFC. Well, first of all, he's incorrect. Whittaker's on a 2-fight win streak. He beat Paulo Costa, the same person that Sean Strickland just beat, and he just destroyed Ikram Aliskerov on short notice in Saudi Arabia. So he's definitely not 0-3. I don't know where Sean gets that, but let's have a look at the people's responses. So, if Rob gets the shot before you, we ride at dawn. I told you, his fans are passionate. My guy, Strickland versus Whittaker. He can get it after I win my belt back. Ben Davis, you shouldn't get a title shot of beating a 1-3 Costa. You versus Rob is the perfect number one contender eliminator. And I agree. And when you look at Costa, there it is. Lost to Strickland, lost to Whittaker, beat Luke Rockhold, lost to Marvin Vettori, and before that, lost to Israel Adesanya. Now, if we look at the record of Robert Whittaker, right, the only people that Whittaker has lost to recently is the best of the best, right? Of course, Dricus Du Plessis is now the champion. He wasn't at the time, and it was a bad night for Robert Whittaker. But we all have bad days in the office. Before that, the only person, Israel Adesanya. Israel Adesanya. Look at that. Look at all these wins. The only people is Israel Adesanya. Right there, Stephen Thompson. That was his last fight, I think, at welterweight. He had one more, then he moved up. Made his debut against Clint Hester. Then look at this win streak. I mean, some legendary names. Derek Brunson, Ronaldo Jacare Souza, Yoel Romero, lost to Izzy, beat Darren Till, Jared Cannonier, Kelvin Gastelum, earned another title fight, lost to Israel Adesanya, beat Marvin Vettori in an absolute masterclass of boxing in Paris, lost to Dricus, and now he's back on the grind again. And that's what Sean Strickland has got to do, in my humble opinion, okay? Sean, of course, I understand he's frustrated. He feels that he was robbed in that title fight anyway, and he deserves it. But a lot of things can happen, as I said earlier. Now, another thing I want to talk about is the videos with Alex Pereira.
Shamba!
Anytime I do a video on Alex Pereira, who I'm a big fan of, and I'm not just saying that, I'm not talking out of my ass, I think Alex Pereira is a tremendous asset to the sport of mixed martial arts. Sometimes I do videos where there's a talking point, like yesterday. I did a video on this guy, Artem Vakitov, a man that he has history with. They're one-on-one, and potentially it could be a real good contender and a challenge and a rivalry. I said it was his nemesis, and it kind of is. They are rivals in kickboxing, and it will be really, really interesting to see him come over to mixed martial arts, and it will be interesting to see him replicate that in the kind of story that he had with Israel Adesanya. It was just a talking point, and people's like, Bisping's always taking any opportunity to take a stab at Alex Pereira. What are you talking about? It is a narrative. It is a talking point. It is a reason to do a video. And I think it's very interesting. And I also think it's very, very likely. It's not taking any shots at Alex Pereira. And yes, I picked him to lose in his fight. I was wrong. I was incorrect. That wasn't because of any kind of malice, any kind of ill will. It is a prediction. And yeah, before that, I picked him to lose to Jamal Hill because I just believed in Jamal Hill. I've been around Jamal quite a bit. I've had him on my podcast. I've heard how passionate he was. I heard how psychotic he was to get this fight. And listen, he didn't pass the test. He didn't get the job done. And Pereira proved me wrong. And I've never been happy to see that happen. But just quickly, I just wanted to say, shut the hell up. These are talking points. They are not stabs. They are not insults. This is not me talking shit on Alex Pereira. So anyway, just thought I'd address that right there. But anyway, going back to the original video, Sean Strickland, we've talked about this before, but with the motorcycle accident, with Dricus Du Plessis fighting Israel Adesanya, with Whittaker continuing to win fights and, you know, position himself ahead, because that's what Whittaker's doing right now. He's climbing up the ladder a little bit more. He's making himself a more worthwhile contender. Certainly, if he was to fight in the meantime, if Whittaker was to have a quick turnaround, because that is very possible, by the way, because he smoked Ikram Aliskerov in just a couple of minutes, didn't take a single shot. The man hasn't got a scratch on him. He could fight pretty soon. If he gets another one in, that's 3 wins in a row. Forget about it on Sean Strickland's side. So if I was Sean, and I don't think he's scared.
Don't be scared, homie.
He's just a man of principle, and he's saying, you know I deserve it. But we've seen time and time again, when people do that, when they wait on the sidelines for a multitude of reasons, it doesn't play out. But never mind that. That's my thoughts. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. Subscribe and ring the bell. See you soon.